Hi everybody, DDK here, and we have some QuakeWorld 4-on-4 action. This is a group match from, I think, EQL14, hopefully I'm not wrong there. So it's a very recent game between a recent CMF lineup and SuddenDeath, recent SuddenDeath lineup. So we have darkki, fix HLT, and Marklada, which is fifi, and for clan MalFunction, and for SuddenDeath we have BPS, Grisling, Razor, and Reppie. And that's quite a nice lineup. Great to see reppie playing. He's been in and out really. He's not been super active, but he's been kind of around very infrequently. So it'll be interesting to see gameplay from him. And I plan to do more pausing on this playthrough because I'd like to just try and highlight certain things in the game as opposed to just going through the whole thing mostly play by play. So let's give it a go. And I'm going to start this one up, and the map is of course dm3. And I selected this game at random. I have no idea what happens in this game. It could be complete and utter rape. If it is, we can cut it off early. But let's have a look at the start spawns. So for CMF, darkki gets the pent, and what else does CMF get? Right. Okay, so CMF have quadring and pent, and SuddenDeath have the rock and the first rock, and they should be getting the LG, but we'd have no idea what's going to happen to BPS. So back on darkki. So BPS does get away with the shaft, and as we can see, we're in this very familiar position here, where Razor really wants this yellow. However, darkki, who didn't manage to get the GL, I guess the GL was stolen. So if we demo jump back, actually, awesome feature of QuakeWorld. Let's say demo jump minus 10 seconds. Did that work? Yeah, there we go. Minus 10 seconds. We can see that there's a GL, and we can see what happens to it. Okay, so HLT takes it. This is a mistake. This is a very big mistake from HLT here. That GL should always go to the pent guy. And the reason is because the pent guy needs it so that he can kill people who are blocking him. He can throw pines around the corner. He can throw pines in this box to move the RL guy out of the box. And so that if he eventually then does get onto this rocket launcher, that he can push people who try to steal it from him and block him. Something in TKS we always try to do is we highlight whether the enemy pent has the GL or not, and if he doesn't have the GL, we go for a steal. If he does have the GL, we don't bother to try and steal it, depending on the situation. So that's already a key thing to note about this game. So we can see we'll see what happens with Razor here. See, if he had a GL there, he may have been able to get a frag or something like that. But anyway, he does get the yellow anyways, so no biggie. And because it's team quad eyes, he hasn't really got a threat with grabbing this rocket, so he will get that. So darkki's going to get this, and it's a good spot for CMF because they do have a strong rocket launcher right now. But the BPS was able to get into red, and so was Razor with a rocket launcher with the first rocket launcher. So it's relatively even, and darkki's just about going to kill Razor there, and Razor does drop a pack, and he manages to kill the pack, I think, which is really good. But he does die himself and drop another pack, so that rocket will go to someone, whoever gets that. And CMF picking up this quad without really much contestation. And with the LG though, he would really love an RL, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen for him. Just waiting for this yellow. He really wants to get into red, but BPS is on red pretty strong, so darkki without any cells isn't really going to be able to make anything, make any plays towards red. So let's have another pause and see where the game is at right now. So it's obviously only a 5 frag difference, and if we look at the top right, we can see on the weapons overlay that we have a shaft for each team, but no one has a rocket launcher. So, and the next rocket launcher is spawning. Okay, not soon. It would have been taken about 10 seconds ago, 9 seconds ago, and that means if there's no rocket launcher on the map that it's already dead. So there's no rocket launcher for another 20 seconds, and we have a quad coming up. So this next quad is going to be quite interesting. It's most likely going to go to BPS. If we skip to BPS, over here he is with the reds and LG and GL and stuff, so he's in a good shape for getting the next quad. So we can really project that even though SuddenDeath are behind right now by 5 frags, they are looking to have the advantage on the quad, so they're going to make it back, I think. So let's just spec BPS, as he should be getting this quad, but he's losing a lot of his armor and his cells because of the boomstickers who are spawning around here. And it's really a point I've made often, that the shaft is really not the weapon you want for killing spawners unless you really have to, and we can see, you know, why. He loses a lot of cells, I mean, not really for much gain, and he loses a lot of armor as well. So because of that, he had to wait for a new armor. He didn't want to lose the LG by going for quad, and SuddenDeath get it. It is now a tie game though, and SuddenDeath have it, but it is a boomsticker, so he's not really going to do too much damage, I think. Fix with the rocket launcher, he just got the new one, and that's going to be good for CMF as he is their only rocket launcher. So let's follow Fix and see what Fix does here. Fix really needs to survive and make sure that the enemy quad doesn't take him out, and he's going to worry about these spawners as well. And there we go, the enemies coming in and trying to kill him and put him really low, 12 HP. Three pellets from a shotgun will kill him right now, but luckily the mega's up for him at the pent. He had to go for that mega, even if he didn't know if it was there or not, because he had no choice. He was so weak and the health wasn't going to spawn at yellow, or even if it was going to spawn eventually, it's too dangerous to stick around when they know, enemy boomstickers know he's there and he's weak. But now he got into SMG for free and he's able to apply some pressure onto this red area. Doesn't take any damage, but has this really nice position here. If BPS decides to, if we switch to BPS, BPS, if he comes through this telly, he has a Fix waiting for him. And I just saw also that Mark Clodder, which is Fifi, is sneaking up to red. Now this could be interesting, because if he gets onto red, yeah, that's great positioning for him. And he can get himself a red, or he can go for quad. I think I'd prefer going for red. So we've got Razor here for SuddenDeath, also at the yellow with a rocket launcher. So Razor's really looking for this yellow, and he wants it in the next 2 seconds because he has to get to quad as well. So let's see what happens, because I think Fix is going to be the man to watch for this quad. Let's see what happens here. Ah, there we go. So Fix gets the quad, and in QuakeWorld, if you don't know, the way the quad works is if you shoot a rocket launcher and then pick up the quad, that rocket which you shot before having a quad becomes quadded. So that's what happened there. Razor basically got hit by a quadded rocket, and that's why he just insta died. Unfortunately for him. And Fix is probably going to go to red, and that's what I would expect. But he is pretty low, so he probably wants to go to SMG first, or he's choosing to go. Yeah, he has to go for this mega here. He could have tried to make his way to SMG, but he would have had to have crossed through the middle upper area, and the risk of getting hit from all directions by spawners is pretty high. So this was a higher percentage survival play, assuming the mega was up. So there was a little risk there because he didn't know about the mega, but then he does eventually get flooded down. And BPS, as we can see, is still lurking around this area, hasn't actually died yet, and he does have a rocket pack now too, to add to his LG. So BPS is being very sneaky so far in this game, and it's quite an important thing. And he just team killed his friend. I guess he had a pack full of cells, and there it is. He's got 30 cells now instead of 15 or 11 or whatever it was. So BPS now in a great position for the squad. And oh, what's going on? Is that a teammate? That is not a team. This looks quite funny. So BPS is going to try and kill that HLT there, and HLT does get killed by the quadder's shaft, but oh dear, BPS maybe should have used the quad shaft there. does get taken down. He was looking very strong, but he can be consoled that Grisling is making his way onto the red, and Grisling not deciding to go for red, and there's no one in red, so interesting choice there from Grisling. I think he definitely could have gotten into red. I guess he didn't realise the state of the game, that basically CMF didn't really have any control. He had 100 health, so he could have poked in to see, but he opted not to. And now we have Fifi in here. So if we look at like what could have happened, if what's his face? Was it Grisling? Grisling goes up here and gets on the red. Now he's got position on Fifi. But as it is, Fifi, who just came back, because basically what happened was Fifi was getting cells whilst Grisling was deciding not to go to red. So that gave Grisling the window to get up on top of red. So it would have been risky, but he would have had position on red, which is nice. And now the Pent's spawning. So we've got darkki here. Razor's going to go waterway because he's got boomstick and nothing much to play with. BPS is going to die with HP, and Fix is completely out of position. So Fix is making a play for the yellow or the quad. And we've got Grisling out of position, and Fifi guarding the top window. So this looks like a definite CMF Pent, and the only person who's going to be able to stop this is reppie stealing it. So let's have a look at reppie. No, reppie denied. Okay, so it's HLT Pent, and HLT is going to want to try and get over to this quad. The quad does go to BPS, who managed to get a rocket launcher. Often the way when everyone's at quads, the new weapons will be spawning, and the team who's in control won't actually be able to get the weapons because most of them will be occupied with trying to hold Pent, and HLT rocket jumping around trying to find BPS. Does finally find BPS, but BPS luckily escapes and will keep his rocket launcher. So HLT now with the red control for his team just has to make sure, like CMF just have to make sure that they've always got this area covered now. And HLT is just hanging around because he's wondering if BPS is going to come back. And there we go. There's reppie. So they understand that there's two enemy rocket launchers now. One of them's at SNG, and one is on the other side of the map. So they're being cautious. And they just found one. There's BPS. BPS needs to escape though, and for some reason it auto-tracked him. But HLT will get the quad now. So still a really close game. 6 minutes in. But if we look at it. If we look at this, SuddenDeath has 4 rocket launchers and CMF have 1, and the one is the quad carrier HLT. So HLT has a lot of work to do with this quad. As we can see, Razor for SuddenDeath is on this red, but he's the only rocket launcher on red. So this is actually attackable for HLT, whether he realizes it or not. And HLT, because they have so many rocket launchers, he can't actually know how well defended that is. So this is actually a risky play for him to try and attack it, but he might go for the speed and then go in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, maybe not the speed, but sometimes people like to get the speed. But he had teammates in red who were telling him what was going on, so it enabled him to safely go in there. And that's like how this decision making changes. It goes from not knowing what's in there to a boomstick going in there and telling you what's going on. So it's all of a sudden not risky play because you know you have the information, and that's like a lot of what this game is about. It's about gathering the information to make the correct calls, and sometimes, or well, a lot of the time, you'll be having to make calls with less than full information. And Razor comes in there and bests HLT in their rocket fight, and that gives SuddenDeath control of this red area now. So really good team play from SuddenDeath to get themselves onto this area. But definitely what they needed to do, having so many weapons in advantage of CMF, who only have 1 rocket launcher still. So if we go to CMF's rocket launcher, it'll be interesting to see what he is doing. And it is darkki, and he's having a fight at red with 1 rocket. He has to direct hit Razor there. Oh, there he gets more rockets. So darkki just has to survive now. darkki's job is to survive, and it's only 4 frags difference, so the 3 rocket launchers of SuddenDeath hasn't really kicked off yet because they haven't really been able to fully establish control yet. And they really need like a minute of just getting armors, like, you know, of the control that they have, like reaping them the resource rewards, and until things will start getting out of control. And CMF have a responsibility to try and stop that from happening, or halt it, or, you know, delay it from happening as much as possible, so that they have a better chance at winning the game. Grisling just getting health and stuff, so let's have a look what else is going on. We got quad in like 15 seconds or something, 10 seconds. Fifi is a shafter for CMF, and they have 1 rocket launcher as well, and that is Fix, and Fix is at window. So Fifi and Fix are going to be looking to work together here. So if we spectate Fix, we can see what kind of situation they set up. So this is a classic out of control versus in control team situation right here. Fix and Fifi, only yellows to work with, only 1 gun each. We've got Razor down there, and we've got another SuddenDeath player in here, BPS, who needs a red. So as we can see, you know, what I was saying about their control not having solidified yet is still true. However, Fix and Fifi are making a play to control this area now with their weapons. And because control wasn't ever solidified for SuddenDeath at red, and they weren't able to get weapons with red, they weren't able to assert anyone down on the yellow area, which enabled Fix and Fifi, the breathing room, to manage to get armors and get into this position before quad. So we've got this fight, and Razor's gonna have to back off, and Fix really needs to rocket jump back up, but he's kind of weak now, so he doesn't want to anymore. And now it's kind of down to Fifi stopping BPS, and with such yeah, he doesn't manage to do so. HLT for CMF. Oops, there we go. Coming in as the last ditch attempt for CMF to get the quad, and they managed to get it. So this is a great chance for CMF now to try and make sure that they can come back into this and get red control. So HLT though not opting to go for red just yet. I guess he feels too weak, which is fair. That's a fair decision. You always need to weigh in survivability, and doesn't manage to make the awesome movement tricks, and doesn't manage to kill the enemy rocket SMG. So not the best of results, but at least he denied the quad from the other team, and they're still alive, giving them control of this yellow area. So they're gonna have a chance now to set up onto quad again. And as we can see, it's 3 rocket launchers against 3 rocket launchers. If we just look at the positions of all the rocket launchers, we've got reppie at the red. With let's find the other SuddenDeath players. Okay, so Razor was shaft at Pence, so we can count Razor out. And BPS with Rocket LG at SMG, and Grisling at red as well. So the definite armor advantage for SuddenDeath. So CMF need to get into the position they got into before, where they go through window and through high yellow to the quad area. And darkki rightly now ignoring him after shooting a couple rockets and not able to support his teammate there in time. But he does have an LG, so he's going to go for it. And now he doesn't need to, as the enemy went away. So he manages to catch BPS, and HLT with a team play manages to finish him off, and they secure the quad together. So that's a good result. So now if we look at it, there's only 2 rocket launchers left for SuddenDeath. One of them is at the RA, well, both of them at the are at the RA. So in this situation, you have to cut your losses, and you have to go, right, let's just defend the RA. We need to just both camp here. I don't know where, so reppie's here, where's, Grisling. Okay, there's Grisling at the tunnel. So Grisling and reppie desperately need to get position up on red very quickly, because quad should be coming to attack them. Oh wow, really good rocket from HLT there. He dropped off and did the kind of dm3 type shot and killed both rocket launchers, I think. Jesus, that was nice. Fortunately, it was no packs, but that's the best possible result HLT could have hoped for. And 10 frags behind, CMF are in a position to, if HLT can keep this area safe by himself, his team can start really fragging and gaining control and momentum over the weapons area. So CMF really needs to keep a guy on ring right now. And oh, okay, sorry, pen is spawning, so that's my bad. So pen is the priority. CMF, to solidify themselves now in this game, they need this pen, and now they need. Okay, they've still got 2 weapons. All right, that's not too bad then. So they need to get their weapons, one of their weapons on red, if not both now, just to stack 2 guys on red. HLT is going to quad run around. I'd like him to really go to the weapons room first, but he's going to clear this area out with his teammate, rocket launcher. So that's good. Going straight to red seemed like the best play actually, because Fix, his teammate rocket launcher, it appears that Fix needed help to get onto red. So that's a good play. But do we have a mistake now? Do we have a mistake? Yes, we do. There is no CMF player on ring. So really, the quad guy shouldn't have left until he was going to get relieved. So really it's on Fix. It's on Fix to go back to ring. Because there's no one making sure that CMF are getting, are stopping enemies getting reds. And that's really important. So Fix really needs to go to ring. But he's hanging around. It almost feels wrong, almost feels like sacrilege to criticize Fix in 4-on-4. But definitely that's a mistake from CMF there. Having constant red control is an imperative. I mean, you also pick up frags as well as having positioning and reds. And if he had kept on that ring control, it's much more likely his team would have gotten the quad instead of reppie. Although reppie did eventually bore it and drop a pack and so on. So let's have a look. SuddenDeath have no weapons, so they're going to be flooding into the weapons room trying to make something happen. So that means the action is going to be at the weapons room. And does CMF have anyone on the weapons side? No, they don't. They have no weapons on the weapons side. All the weapons are on the red side, meaning that if we go into free float, we can see all of SuddenDeath, a discharge from Fifi there. And we're going to have a SuddenDeath player getting onto this yellow. It's reppie. But reppie is of mind to give that away because he already has a yellow, but no teammate in time. And he needs some cells. He can't. It's going to be hard for him to take a confrontation. He doesn't really have enough cells to guarantee himself a kill on a weapon. Yeah, I would have liked him to go for cells at SMG because he just didn't have enough cells to kill an enemy, which is what it would have taken to have an impact at the quad area. Even doing damage there didn't make sense. Doing damage and running away didn't make sense because he wouldn't have any teammates to come and support him or help him out. So he wasn't actually helping anyone, he was just doing a little bit of damage to someone. So darkki with the quad for CMF. And SuddenDeath have only 1 rocket launcher right now against the 3 of CMF. So CMF finally starting to pull away the frags and they're taking a lead, as we can see here. And reppie is the only rocket launcher, but he's probably going to die. He's at pen with nothing. So it's free reign right now for clan MalFunction. And if they just keep a guy on this ring area, they're going to get a lot of spawn frags, they're going to maintain the red control, and it's going to be good times had by all. So darkki doesn't need to go to the quad side because he has a teammate there. And as we can see, this is the importance of keeping a guy on ring. Easily able to poke in and deal with the enemies who are sneaking around there. At red, so that's good. And HLT coming in to help because he saw that there was some kerfuffle going on at red. So now that that's safe, he's going to move on and attack the yellow area. Yellow was just taken, so he can either choose to hunt down that player at window, which is where the direction he's going in, or he can choose to go directly to pressure the weapons room. He decides to go back to ring, but there's not much he can do there. And now he's just pressuring the yellow area. If he can keep this now, that's going to be great for his team. So let's have a look. I just want to check if there's anyone at ring now. No one at ring. Okay, Fix is at red though, that's okay. Let's watch Fix. I want to see if Fix stays on red. Because that's really what he should be doing. After he takes the red, he should stay on ring because he needs a teammate there. Like, you're just giving up so many spawn frags in such a good position if you just don't have someone there. Okay, darkki's there. Alright, okay, darkki moves away. My goodness. And okay, fix me is away because this quad is spawning. Ideally you want someone on both sides. So Fifi is on the ring side, and we have Darkki and Fix on the quad side, so that worked out okay. And they all have red armors, so that's looking good for them. So let's look at the positioning of the rocket launchers now. So Darkki is attacking weapons, because this, when you're playing QuakeWorld 4 and 4 in Division 1, in your mind should always be like, not like when we talk about relaying information where the enemy weapons are going, it also counts for the same when you're playing with your teammates and your teammates have weapons. It counts for the same. You need to look at, okay, where are my teammates, because that tells you where you need to be. Because it's like, if I have a weapon teammate, like a rocket teammate covering yellow, I don't need to go to yellow unless he needs help. I mean, I can stay at ring. You know, if there's a guy on ring and there's a guy on yellow, then you can go, okay, I can pressure the weapons room and do that freely and safely and not have to worry. So Darkki is here at this area, so his teammates need to understand that a position that they can cover is yellow, and a position they can cover the fixes around there, and red and ring also. But as we can see, look, reppie actually managed to sneak in up here, and it's having a fight with HLT. So let's go to that fight and see what happens. Follow HLT. Okay, reppie manages to kill him and gets a pack drop. This is huge. If reppie can survive, it's huge. But he will take a red rocket and drop another pack on the red. So that's a sucky situation for SuddenDeath. Reppie tried his best, nearly made something happen. So again, a good spread of rocket launches during the quad for CMF. Good enough to make sure that everything was covered and nothing crazy happened to hurt their control. And now they've made a 50 frag difference in the game, 45 frags. And we have pent spawning. So let's have a look at the pent setup. So we've got the two weapons. Well, one of them just got killed by BPS's shaft. BPS has no armor, and HLT has a lot of red and rocket launcher. So HLT is going to be fine to cover this. But the problem is that HLT has to get this pent for CMF. HLT has to kill BPS, or somehow get out the window, and then deal with a shafter who's aiming at window, waiting for him to drop down, and a rocket launcher. So all these weapons, even though they have very, very low armor, like Grisling has yellow, no yellow or anything for Razor, nothing for BPS, SuddenDeath have a great setup here. They've got BPS at the top and the two guys with the right weapons at the bottom. And what does CMF have? CMF has two rocket launchers. No, sorry, 3 rocket launchers. Oh, well, 2. One died. Fix died and dropped the pack. They've got HLT and Fifi. So HLT... Okay, Fifi's on the red. So Fifi is going to be way too late to make pent. And HLT... It's all up to HLT now. So he kills BPS. Reppie comes through and blocks him. HLT, yeah, can't do anything. So Razor pent. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere... Almost out of nowhere, it seems, because SuddenDeath had the awareness to get on the pent and set up for it like well, and they managed to get a good attempt onto the pent and secure it. So now everything changes because they have the potential to hidden spot the ring guy there, a very sneaky ring guy at a hill there, but because they got all this, they have a chance at making control for themselves. Now, doing a pent quad run is very difficult in this position because you have to make sure there's so many dangers. There's people who can be hiding, like the guy at hill, that you can miss. They can come back and kill you when your pent runs out, which is the situation now. He's on red and his pent has run out, so that's a really horrible situation for him because he can basically be attacked. Like someone can come up here, oh, and there he is, and you can shoot rocket up, and that's probably what Fifi's going to do. Let's have a look. No, he's waiting. So Fifi has a chance to actually kill the quad here, but now his position is given away because of the boomsticker. So HLT at 4 CMF chilling in this area. SuddenDeath have yellow, and Razor looks to be good for the red now. So it looks like it could have gone badly, but it's okay now for SuddenDeath. SuddenDeath have the control, they can definitely make 50 frags in 4 minutes. If they maintain their control, they can make a comeback of 50 frags for sure. And Razor here, keeping red safe for his teammates, taking a bad rocket or two, which is really bad now. CMF abusing the fact that every one of the other team was in the red, everyone of importance. So, unless SuddenDeath can survive with all their rocket launchers and maintain red control, this is looking really bad now, because this quad was very important. And the reason it was super important is because if they want to come back, they had to start the comeback really now. But that's not the case, because darkki having the quad is going to be able to delay them significantly, or even stop it completely. So in comes darkki, gets shot by a teammate, and doesn't look like they have red though, red control. So let's have a look at what's going on the map. So we've got a setup here on yellow to defend for the next quad. CMF well and truly in control of this area. Fix is going to window, and he's got two teammates at yellow, holding yellow. And quad is spawning in 15 seconds. This time, SuddenDeath have to, as we can see, Razor there and reppie here with reds and rockets. This time, SuddenDeath has to absolutely make a solid defense on the quad. They have to make this happen. So let's follow Razor. Razor finds Fix. Fix is winning the rocket fight and kills him. Now this is really bad, because even though Fix is really weak, everything is down to reppie, and reppie doesn't have much armor left. Does manage to get a good rocket though onto one of the enemies, and he desperately needs team support. Really, really good rocket jump from reppie there. Honestly, this was a really risky play, but absolutely crucial, because now reppie gets this red, and he's put himself in a position where he has a rocket launcher and a quad, and that means that he can get the kills that are necessary. And there we go, there's number one, kills a weapon, an enemy shafter. And a discharge to kill all the CMF guys. So now SuddenDeath are in control, but with 2.5 minutes and 15 seconds left, 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, they need 40 frags, and it is definitely doable in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but it will be difficult. 20 frags a minute. Definitely doable. They just have to get the next two quads and maintain their control. So let's have a look at SuddenDeath. BPS should be staying really at ring. Like, he just has to stay at ring, be here, I think, in my opinion, because even though they need frags, if reppie is able to frag people on the other side of the map, it's very likely they'll spawn around this area. And not only that, he also needs to make sure that he maintains a solid positioning on quad. And here we see that he's lost position a bit. He's not going to miss quad, but he will be late for it to spawn. And reppie will get it, so it's fine. I mean, it's one of those plays where it's like, he didn't get punished at all, but like, if someone has spawned and gotten into the red, that can really end up hurting you a lot. And he traded the risky kind of unknown thing that could happen for making a frag, I think, which is what he did. He made like one frag or something. But this is looking worse and worse for SuddenDeath. With only 1 minute and 20 seconds left, they're not fragging at the rate that they need to be, because they just don't have enough control. And it's too little too late at this point, I think. But let's see what they can do in the last remaining minute of the game. A boar. So, fair enough. A nice little boar there, and dropping the pack. Again, if you're not used to QuakeWorld, boring means rocket killing yourself with a rocket launcher, with the splash. It's a QuakeWorld thing. I explained it in one of the videos in the past. I should make a glossary of like QuakeWorld terms, a video for like a glossary of QuakeWorld terms that I can refer people to. So yeah, the good game though. It was close for a large portion of the game. It was indeed close, and definitely both teams showing good stuff. Some really nice defenses, team defenses, team attacks, some good individual plays, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Let's have a quick peruse through the stats to see who dropped the most rocket launchers or whatever. That's always funny to point fun at the guy who dropped the most arrows. So Grisling playing really well. That's really funny actually. He's got a minus 39 net, but oh right, okay, it's taken and given. That's okay, right, that's backwards. Really weird. In my client, I think that's the other way around. I thought for a moment it was 9,000 damage given and taken 5,500, and I was like, what the hell? How did he get minus 39 net with that? But no, it's the other way around. So Grisling not having the best of games. BPS again not having the best of games either, and it seemed like Razor and reppie had the kind of, well, reppie had pretty low damage, but it seemed like Razor had the best stats, although he had the most drops. Yeah, he had the most RL drops. The overall rocket drops 15 and 17, so pretty even. The quads relatively even, 12 for CMF, 8 for SuddenDeath, 3 pence for CMF. Definitely a massive help, the 3 pence. But that one SuddenDeath pen made a massive impact on the game, and there was a really good opportunity and well played by SuddenDeath. So the MVP, let's see who the MVP was. Looks like HLT had great stats, and 8,300 given, 5.2k taken, 8 killed, 3 dropped. Took 5 quads. Darkki took 5 quads. Yeah, so those are the stats. Stats not the strongest part of QuakeWorld. I think people have been complaining that they want more stats for a while, but it does the job, I think. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and stay tuned for more action, and see you guys later.